the Patriots Drive podcast.
We are all Patriots.
Where we discuss, analyze, and answer questions to all things happening in the NFL and with our New England Patriots. Now, here's your host, Cole Kelly.
Let's go!
Welcome into another edition of the Patriots Drive podcast. Today we got Super Bowl preview with a very special guest. I'm sure you guys have seen his stuff before, whether it's on here, on Twitter. Maybe we'll be at the Super Bowl. I'm super jealous about that. But here with my co-host Chase Campbell and special guest Carlos. How's it going, guys?
It's going good, man.
It's going good. Yeah, as good as can be being a Patriots fan.
We couldn't ask for anything better. And Super Bowl week we're pretty used to it as Patriots fans, but it feels like 7 years ago. The last time they were in it was so long ago that it's still like it feels good to be back. It feels good to be witnessing media day, all that stuff. I know Carlos said this before we got on. I do hate the 2 weeks up to it. Like, I wish they would just play already. I'm so sick of all the media and stuff like that, even though it is fun. I'm ready for the game to be played and ready to watch the Patriots one last time.
I'm definitely ready for the game to be played, but at the same time, I'm so thankful for the 2 weeks, people to get healthy. And also, I kind of love all the interviews, all the media stuff. I feel like you get to see so much more behind the scenes of all these guys and answering every question or anything that these people have asked everybody on the team in general. I just feel like you get so much more insight and all the information you could want, all the behind the scenes stuff you could want for the Pats. So Super Bowl week always brings that out. And so I don't mind it too much.
No, and Carlos, you were there. We'll start off with this. You were there yesterday, so talk about, a little bit of your experience. I know some people said that it wasn't as good as it has been in the past, a little bit tighter spaces and stuff, but what was your experience there at Super Bowl opening night yesterday?
Yeah. Before I get on with that, I don't know if I'm frozen on your guys' end. I'm frozen on my end.
It's
You look a little frozen.
But anyways, I'll try to get my camera going. I'll keep talking while I'm doing it though. No, it's pretty they're like setting it up in a very weird way. If you're familiar with the Bay Area, they have everything like an hour apart. So like the Super Bowl like headquarters, I guess you could call it, is in San Francisco. The San Jose Convention Center was for media night last night, which is like an hour away. And then obviously the game's in Santa Clara. So everything's very spread out and they're setting it up very odd. But it was also really weird for them to choose the San Jose Convention Center as the media night location because it's like one of the I don't want to say it's small, but they definitely didn't utilize the space to its best ability. I waited 4 hours in line just to get in because it was first come, first serve. And then it turns out when I was waiting in line, they were saying like, oh yeah, but if you purchased a ticket today, like you could get in like quicker. I didn't even know that was a thing. I would have done that. So it was a really odd experience. I've heard a lot of people complaining about the way everything's been set up so far, but hopefully the actual Super Bowl, I guess you could say festivities, even though this is considered a festivity. I hope they're arranged much better, and hopefully I'll be able to see it in person, kind of like you mentioned.
Yeah,
well, it is a little bit weird too, right? Because they're practicing at they're practicing at Stanford and San Jose State because San Francisco substation, whatever. So everything's kind of spread out.
Yeah. I think that's normal though. I think 10 years ago when they had the Super Bowl here, I think they had the same like setup that. Okay. Stanford was one team, San Jose State was the other where they practiced at. Patriots actually, in my opinion, they got lucky that it's at Stanford. I think, me being a San Jose State student at the moment, I think Stanford might have better facilities, so they might have given it to the more deserving team. But yeah, it is cool. Right now I'm in the phase that it's like, let me just drive around, be around there as much as possible. You never know who you're going to run into. I saw like Zolak and Bertrand walking around yesterday. I saw Ian Rappaport walking outside of the San Jose Convention Center. So it's pretty cool. The whole NFL world's descended upon the Bay Area. Now it's just a matter of trying to talk to those people and not just stare at them from afar like a creep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait for them to come down to Maine, have the Super Bowl in Maine, and then I'll get to see it right in the backyard.
Stadiums there.
Yeah, we could do it down to the high school field over here. I'm sure that'll hold enough. 20 people, 30 people.
There you go. That's cool. I was gonna ask. Oh, did you guys see a video of like Patriots players at In and Out? Could you imagine being an In and Out and like Travion Henderson, Garrett Bradbury, Drake May, all them walking in? Like I'd be shocked at that. I don't even know what I'd do. I'm kind of one that's weird though. Like when I see famous people out there, a part of me like freezes a little bit, and I know how much attention they get, and like I just don't want to be the guy that's like gets told to F off because they get sick of taking photos or something. So usually I don't go up and say things to them, although I probably should, because who gives a crap if they say that to you? It's like, when are you ever going to see them again? Like I saw Matthew Stafford like 10 years ago in California, while he was still on the Lions, and I didn't say anything to him because it was him, his wife, and like they had a really young daughter at the time, and I was like, I don't want to do this to Stafford. He's probably enjoying vacation, but yeah.
I feel the same way. I saw the McCourty twins at the Patriots hotel during training camp this year because they were calling one of the preseason games, and it's the same thing. You just feel like hesitant to go up, but then you're like, when am I going to see these guys again? Like I got to go get a picture with them or whatever. So I definitely understand how you feel with that.
Yeah.
Carlos knows what we're talking about because everyone comes up and says what's up to him.
Yeah, he gets tired of the pictures,
definitely
probably.
Not. Definitely not. You know, I'm still manifesting that one day someone's gonna come up to me and I'm gonna be able to say like someone asked for a picture. No, but I was gonna mention what's crazy is that I was actually gonna go to that In and Out and I decided against it because I was like, no, it's gonna be too packed. And then I was like, you know, there's right next to San Jose State, there's like, I guess you call it a knockoff, and it's like a cheaper version of In and Out. And I was like, you know, no one knows the spot. It's kind of like, you know, underground. I really like it. I haven't been out here in a little bit because all my classes are virtual right now. So I was like, let me just go there instead. And then I see videos of them at that In and Out. So,
that's crazy. That stinks.
Moral of the story: always follow your gut. Go to the In and Out that you want to go to. Well, you don't know about In and Out. You're not a West Coast guy.
No, we don't have those up here in Maine, unfortunately.
Well, when you come visit me and Carlos or something, and you know, come see a Jazz game or whatever, we'll take you to one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I want to see that poor basketball team play. I could just watch my local high school team to be the same. So we'll see.
It's probably more expensive to watch your high school team, though.
Probably.
Let's get into it. We already got people in here talking smack.
Wow.
Pat's gonna get smoked, so let's just jump right into it. Whoops, I did not mean to hit that one. Obviously got a huge game. Okay, Patriots rematch of Super Bowl 49 against the Seahawks. Let's start with you, Carlos. What do you think are the keys to the game? Seattle is very well-rounded, offensively, defensively, special teams wise. But what do you think right off the top of your head is one thing that is a key to the game for New England to pull out? A lot of people are saying an upset. So,
yeah, honestly, I think on both sides of the ball, it's the run game. I think it's the Patriots' ability to run the ball and then open things up from there, and then their ability to stop the run. Because, I mean, if you on the defensive side, if you leave the ball in Sam Darnold's hands, I have much better faith in that. I'm not saying that he's like some scrub, but I have much more faith in them stopping Sam Darnold rather than, having to deal with both him and Kenneth Walker. Even their other running back, I don't even know his name, George Holani.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually been like I'm not saying he's like a star or anything, but he's
not as good as Charbonnet, but
yeah, exactly. Like he's been decent enough that he's someone that you have to account for because you don't want their run game to have any sort of production. So I do think that the defensive run game and obviously them getting Ramondre Stevenson in particular going. I know people want Travion Henderson to finally have a breakout game in the playoffs, but if you can get Ramondre Stevenson going and just he's been able to do it against some of the toughest defenses in the playoffs so far. I don't see why he can't do that against the Seahawks, and that's not me undermining the Seahawks defense. That's just like I have confidence in him, and if they can get him going, then I think both sides of the ball would be successful.
Yeah, I definitely think Ramondre's playing some of the best ball of his career. He's been taking advantage of a lot of the opportunities he's been getting, with Henderson only getting 4 snaps last week. Henderson's been struggling, like you just said.
Yeah.
Just watching some of the film breakdowns on some of his struggles, he's had opportunities to hit the hole and go for explosive plays, but he's just making the wrong decisions. He's not seeing the field well. He's not seeing the holes well. And it honestly seems like, I don't know if there's actual correlation here or not, but since his concussion, he hasn't been the same player. And I don't know if that's related. Could be a coincidence, but I definitely think getting at least one of them to really get going, establish the run, I think that'd be a huge key for the game. But my key is getting pressure on Sam Darnold. there's a lot of statistics that are similar with CJ Stroud and Sam Darnold, where when you give him time, he's one of the most efficient guys, and he can sit back there and carve you up, especially with the weapons they have with JSN, Shaheed, and Cooper Kupp and stuff like that. They got some solid guys out there. When you get pressure on him, he drops to like the 28th ranked quarterback in football, like via EPA. So get pressure on him. Those guys up front, there's the interior for the Seahawks isn't the strongest suit for them. So Barmore, Milton Williams, some of these guys need to take advantage of these matchups. You got to get pressure on Darnold consistently. If you compare that with stopping the run, it's going to be a long day for their offense. And then you just got to hope that Drake May and the offense can figure it out. But slowing down their offense is a great start, and kind of keeping your team in that. If their offense never gets going too much, you're going to be in the game. So I definitely think getting pressure on Darnold, hopefully with 4, but if you need to mix it up and do some of the exotic blitzes they've been doing, that works as well. It's just any way to get pressure.
I actually saw a really interesting thing on Twitter. I was just trying to find it the other day, and maybe you guys might have seen it too, but there was a stat that like the Seahawks target rate for receivers when Sam Darnold is when he faces man versus zone coverage drops by like almost 25%. Like it's the biggest drop off in the NFL. So when the Patriots are in man coverage, or other teams in man coverage, they target their receivers a lot more, which makes sense because you have Cooper Kupp, you have JSN who's so good against it. And then when it's in zone, they target them significantly less, about 55%, somewhere in that range. So I think that's a huge stat, a huge key where, hey, we all assume Christian Gonzalez might be following JSN, and he probably will for sometimes. Like, they're not just going to play zone the whole time. But I actually think the key to this game is you're going to see more like fire zone blitzes, like you mentioned, to get pressure on him, send 5, drop some guys out, try to confuse Darnold. And then obviously I'm not too scared of Kenneth Walker in the pass game. If they're going to use him in the pass game, yeah, you want to rally and tackle him. I'm worried about him if he gets going in the run game, but if they're throwing checkdowns, the Patriots are a good tackling team. They can rally and tackle those things. We saw it against Denver. We've seen it against other teams. So I'm actually more interested to see how Zach Kerr, Mike Vrabel, and some of these guys game plan this, because I saw that stat and I'm like, that's a really interesting thing. You think of, like, as good as Christian Gonzalez is, I do not want to see him have to hold up against JSN for 50 reps. Like, I just think JSN's going to get his number probably 5-6 times and maybe go for 100 yards. Like, as good of a corner as Christian Gonzalez is, you're going to have to give him a break and have to play a little bit more zone coverage.
Yeah, if anything, I think what do you guys remember what game it was? I think it was the Chargers game that the offensive players came out and they said that they couldn't tell what defense the Patriots were running.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be like the key.
Make them see ghosts.
Yeah, it's literally going to be another instance of that. Like, they need to manipulate the coverage as best as possible. They need to make it seem like they're running man and then drop into zone, something like that, or obviously vice versa. So yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I think it's going to really depend on, just like you said, Cole, just make him see ghosts. It's even though he's developed as a quarterback, he's still Sam Darnold. That
he's in there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. He's in there somewhere. So it's like as long as I honestly think, I hope they're doing this, and I guarantee they're smart enough to. They should definitely look at that film from when that game happened back when he was on the Jets and see what the Patriots defense did then. Like I said, obviously it's a different quarterback, different OC, but he's in there somewhere. Like, there's something in that game that they played against him when he was seeing ghosts all over the field that worked. So hopefully they look back on that film as well.
Yeah, and in that game he had like 4 or 5 picks, like something crazy in like the first half. It was like it got out of hand so fast. So especially when you're the underdog, turnover differential matters a ton. Ball security for Drake May, and then defense or special team is going to need to make a big play, whether that's a big strip sack, kind of like it was with Stidham this past week, to put the offense in a good spot, a big punt return by Marcus Jones, a big pick, maybe a pick 6, something like that. Coverage would be absolutely huge.
Kick coverage that's going to be huge.
Yeah, field position, kick coverage, keeping it out of Shaheed's hands. He's as we saw a few weeks ago, he got the ball opening kickoff and housed it. So
yeah,
that can happen on any given play. Keep the ball out of his hands. Bryce needs to be better this week. I know it was tough conditions against the Broncos, but I mean, the Broncos punter was a weapon in that game. Like, he kept them in that ball game where Bryce was shanking it for 20-30 yards. And I know the game plan was to keep it out of Mim's hands, but just the field position battle matters when it's this close. It matters at the end of the game, especially with good defenses. So if you can kind of win that and you create a big play somewhere, on special teams or defensively, get a turnover, win the turnover battle, that will certainly help them.
Yeah, and not to go into the weeds of things real quick. Is it just me? I'm not a huge fan of Bryce Behringer. I feel like every single season he has like stretches or just multiple moments in a game that it's like, what the hell is this guy doing?
So inconsistent.
Yeah, it's really odd. And it's no one ever talks about them like drafting a punter or signing a new punter, but I would not be. And like I said, this is really getting into the weed of things, but I could totally see them doing that this offseason because it's too many games and too many big moments that he just gets like a 30-yard punt off, and it's like, why? Like you look at the punter on the other side, they're not making that same mistake. So I just needed to get that out there. I feel like no one talks about it.
No, there's moments where you're like, okay, that's why he's here. But then there's other moments where, like you just said, it's a shank, and it's like, how can you be that inconsistent? Like you can't be a punter in this league and be 50-50, whether it's a great punt or you absolutely shank it. Like just having a little more consistency, even if he doesn't have the 70-yard bombs, if you can put it 50 yards and be consistent with it in good spots and be accurate and not have those same shanks, that might be worth it. So I think it's something that potentially they could look to upgrade at some point. It's just if he could figure it out how to be more consistent with it, he could be one of the top hunters in football. But he's had some really negative plays for them, especially this year.
Yeah, I'm totally fine if the Patriots just take the ball out of Rashid's hands at all phases. Like, I know it sucks giving him the ball at the 35-yard line, but it's better than giving them 6 points. Like, I think he's that dynamic of a returner. And so I wouldn't kick to him. I mean, you maybe give him one. You saw what happens when you give him one. If you give him one chance, I mean, I was around him in college when he was at Weber State, and he had 7 career kickoff returns in college. That's tied for the most in college football history at FCS or FBS level. Like, he's been doing that since he was in college. And so I'm a little worried some about that part, but I do think that New England's smart enough to not kick it to him like consistently. Like, they're not going to give him 3 or 4 chances. If they, have the opportunity to bunt or to kick it out of the end zone, I would hope that they do. I would hope that they're kicking it to the other returner, however it is. He's proven this year that you probably don't want to kick it to him 3 or 4 times because he's going to make you pay probably one of them. Even if it's not a touchdown, they're probably going to get the ball around the 50-yard line at one point, like midfield. Like, he's that good of a returner. So, and then, same with punts. Yeah. If you have to kick it out of bounds, like, I'd rather have a 38-yard net and stuff instead of him catching it, a 50-yard bomb that you outkick your coverage, and now Brendan Schooler's not down there or whatever, and now he's returning it for 30 yards. And so, it will be interesting to see how the Patriots play there. I do think their special teams have been good. They've been able to play good enough football compared to what it has been, 2 or 3 years ago? Like, what was it? Was it last year they were horrible on special teams, or was it 2 years ago?
Think
New
2
England.
years ago.
Was it 2 years?
I'm just saying 2 years because I don't think Jeremy Springer would have been back if last year.
Yeah, last year
was
one of the better years for special teams in a while.
It was 2 years ago where they were horrible.
Yeah.
Like, as in every aspect of it. So at least they're there. Another thing that I wanted to point out about kind of a key to the game, Seattle in their last 3 games, so their 3 playoff games, they are averaging just under 12 points in the first quarter. New England's is 2.3. That's a huge discrepancy. And the Patriots you don't have to score 14 points in the first quarter, but you got to do something. You got to be able to stop them. Like, you're talking about a team who's came out hot in the first quarter and a team who's came out cold in the first quarter in these playoffs. And so keeping it close or keeping it, whether it's tied or whatever in the first quarter, because Seattle is a team that if they don't have to throw the ball, I don't think, like, you don't want Kenneth Walker to be running it for like 30 times this game, because that means that they're probably up a lot, and New England, is playing. They're trying to drain the clock. So if you're going to, have a chance, keep it close in the first quarter. I know that sounds obvious, but you're talking about numbers right here. That's a huge discrepancy. That's almost a 10-point difference right there in the first quarter. And if you're talking about it's 10-0 after the first, or it's 14-3 after the first, I'm going to be really stressed out for the next 3 quarters. That's for sure.
The only thing I'll say to that, and not that you're wrong, but I feel like correct me if you guys think I'm wrong. I think the Patriots are the best defense they've played in the playoffs.
I said that last week. I 100% agree that.
Like, sure, yeah, like that's definitely a stat to look out for, and it's something to worry about. But like, I'm really, really confident in the Patriots defense, and the fact that they're, fingers crossed, fully healthy by the time Sunday comes around. Um, I think it's going to be tough to score on them. I think people are just not giving them credit whatsoever, and they're assuming that Sam Darnold and Jackson Smith and Jigba are just going to completely go off, and it's going to be, like kind of like Pat Surtain said today. He said it's going to be, I think he said
35-7.
35-7, Seattle winning. Like, I mean, if people want to think that, and they want to take the averages or just like view the past two games against defenses that aren't as good as the Patriots, then go ahead. Like, just be surprised about it on Sunday.
I think it's somewhere in the middle because I think this is also the best offense the Pats have faced this playoffs too. I don't know. I definitely think obviously CJ Stroud struggled, Herbert struggled. I think Chargers had a good offense, but they had two glaring holes on their tackles that it was just like, if you can take advantage of that, you can wreck a game. Defensive lines, yes, defensive lines. If you can get pressure consistently and just take advantage of an offensive line, you can wreck a game. And I really think if the Patriots, the best chance Pats have to win is to do that. They need Milton to be the same guy he's been, if not better. Keep racking up the pressures, the quarterback hits, the sacks. Be that guy he was in the Super Bowl last year. We need Barmore to show out. I mean, there was a couple reps in that Broncos game where he looked unbelievable. Like, he just made their guards look silly. And that offensive line was no slouch. So Seahawks do have a decent O-line, but they are weak in a couple spots. So if you could take advantage of that, that'd be great. It's I don't think it's going to be as easy of a cakewalk as everybody thinks, but maybe I'm wrong. I mean, the Seahawks are a good football team. I just think it's crazy to think that it's going to be like 50-0 and the Pats have no chance. I do think this Patriots defense is good. I know they've had their struggles early on. You hope that you don't let up a big play like they did to get Jarrett Stidham a 7-0 lead. You can't have mistakes like that in the Super Bowl. It's going to come back and bite you and cost you a game. But if this defense can play how they've been playing, you like your chances to be in the game at least and have it be competitive. And then at the end, it's anybody's ball game.
I don't at all think that it's going to be a blowout. Like, the Patriots are underdogs for a reason. Like, I'm not disagreeing. Seattle is a great team. They've probably been one of the better teams in, all year. And so I don't think it's going to be, a blowout by any means. So I don't know if I don't think that there's a staff that I would take over Vrabel, Josh McDaniels, what Zach Kerr and them have done over the last, couple weeks. I don't know if there's a staff that I'd take with 2 weeks of preparation. Like, I firmly believe in this staff to get this team ready. They've played in Super Bowls. They've coached in Super Bowls. They know how to handle the week, all that stuff. Also, this is not that big of a deal, and so I'm not going to make it one, but Clint Kubiak was doing coaching interviews on Saturday. And again, I'm not going to put there, but like, they have coaches that are doing other things. And again, I don't think that that's going to be a huge storyline. I don't think the Seattle Seahawks are going to lose because of that, but still, like, you have some coaches that have been at least preparing for other interviews. And what does that take away from game planning? What does that take away from, other things? Who knows? That's yet to be seen. But I firmly trust this staff of New England that they've been there as a player. Mike Vrabel knows how to handle it. He's so connected with these guys. He's going to know how to talk to them, how to tell them, to handle their bodies, how to handle the week off, how to handle media day. Same with Josh McDaniels. He's been in multiple Super Bowls and stuff as offensive coordinator. So he knows how to talk to Drake May about this.
One thing real quick that Carlos mentioned earlier about the last Pats-Bills game, that was coming off the bye. Vrabel was 6-0 in his career off the bye, and immediately 21-0, like that. And then it was obviously the game collapsed later. You hope that you don't take your foot off the gas in the Super Bowl, but I like how fast they started. That was the first game where they really came out on flying on all cylinders, coming off a bye week, and you definitely like to see that. So if they come out with that same energy, you would hope, and that's that same fire on offense, same fire on defense, that's what you need. You got to start fast, get a lead, and the ball's in your court. So if they can play anything like they did off their bye week in the first half, you feel good about their chances. But you got to play a full 60 minutes. This is a phenomenal team. I don't fault Vegas for having the Pats be the underdogs. I think they should be the underdogs. But people acting like New England never has a chance. If they played 10 times, they'd lose 10 times. I think that's crazy. I think the Patriots have all the capability in the world, if they play well, to win this football game. So we'll see what they do on the field.
I agree. This team is going to come out ready. I honestly love the people like the salty Pat Surtain, or I don't know, Carlos, when you were at the Patriots Broncos game, did you have salty like Broncos fans around you when you were leaving, when they were leaving?
Dude, as so no one was talking crap the whole game, other than when they scored the touchdown. And then as soon as like the game ended, some guy behind me started trying to fight a Patriots fan, like out of nowhere, and it was just like, why? I don't understand where this is coming from. Like, honestly, now that I think about it, I actually got cussed out when I was walking back to my hotel from someone in their car because I was wearing a Patriots jersey. So it was like very random like interactions, and now they've moved over to Twitter, and I'm getting a lot of Broncos fans in all my mentions just saying like, I can't wait for you guys to get smoked. I can't wait to, see you guys, this corny team finally lose. Like, and you know what's funny? I have a whole folder in my bookmarks ready to go. So hopefully I get to use it.
I hope they win so I can see every single one of those, because I am going to be the next day. I'm just going to be scrolling through with a smile on my face if that happens.
My favorite thing to do, just because I don't want to give them like attention, as soon as this has happened the last 3 playoff games, as soon as the Patriots have won, I just go and I go like that tweet, whatever tweet that they sent to me. And it's just like, I'm not giving them attention. I'm not giving them a platform, but I'm making it like, hey, like,
yeah,
remember
I know.
Yeah.
That's enough.
Yeah, we had a guy walking up past us. Like you said, like most Broncos fans were pretty cool when we were at the game. They were talking and stuff. And then there was one guy that was in like an old leather helmet. And he's like, "You guys fucking suck. You just beat Jarrett Stidham." And I'm like, and you thought you were like, he was one of the guys that thought they were going to win. I guarantee it. Everyone thought Jarrett Stidham's the highest paid backup in the NFL for a reason. Like, why did everyone pick the Broncos then? Like, stop picking them. They picked the Chargers, they picked the Texans, they picked the Broncos. A lot of them are picking the Seahawks, and I'm fine with it. Go ahead, keep on doubting this team, because that's how they've been for the whole season. Like, they don't care. You've heard Stephon Diggs have the talks. Mike Vrabel wants the bulletin board material. Like, I'm fine with the doubt. Like, that doesn't worry me about this team. They're not going to let that noise get to them. So I love it. I love when people are being salty and saying things like that. Like Pat Surtain, all that. I just smile and laugh at it. I'm like, that's great. That's how you know that the Patriots are back, honestly.
Yeah, I think Cortland Sutton came out today too, or yesterday, that he said like everyone knows that it should be the Broncos in the Super Bowl. I guess I don't know how that makes sense, but sure, everyone knows.
Yeah. I'm sure it would have made a difference with Bo Nix being in there, but like, you don't know how the game would have played out.
I'm telling you, I understand that argument when people tell me that, like, yeah, Bo Nix would have won the game. Unless you were at that game, you do not understand like the elements that they had to play in. Like, that was insane. I don't care if it was Jarrett Stidham or Bo Nix. Like any quarterback in the NFL would have struggled in that weather. Like, that was insane.
Yeah, it definitely looked crazy. Like, just watching it on TV, it was like how fast it happened. It was like, oh wow, it's a lot of snow, a lot of wind happening here, and that was what I was worried about late in the game. Was the Broncos had the wind at their back, Pats had the snow blasting in their face in the fourth quarter, and I was like, hopefully that doesn't end up factoring in here. But it didn't matter. Pats held on to it. Their defense was elite all game except for like one play.
And that's the other thing that people forget to talk about, like right now, is Seattle has a great defense. But what New England's defense has done in these playoffs and this whole year is, I think it's so funny, because like everyone wants to talk about the schedule, but like the defense has been elite. Like, it is hard to stop these NFL offenses. Like, there are good offenses out there, even for bad football teams, that put up numbers. And New England has just consistently put up a lot of turnovers. They've haven't given up a lot of points. They've gotten quarterbacks' faces with
much better in the red zone too. Playoffs,
yeah, much better. Like, first part of the year, they were bad in the red zone. You're like, oh my gosh, they can't stop anyone. But now it's gotten better. So I think the disrespect on the defense is the one, to me, that kind of blows me away so much. I'm like, how is this still a thing?
Also,
and a lot of the go ahead.
You're good. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, a lot of like the chatter has also been like, oh well, they almost lost to Tyler Huntley, but in those games, like, they didn't have a fully healthy defense. Like, they didn't have Milton Williams, or like they didn't have Robert Spillane. And now that the playoffs are here and they've had everyone ready to go, you see what's happening against these, like, I don't want to say elite offenses, but playoff level offenses. So that's just what I always point to.
That was the quick thing I was just going to mention was so far this year, they haven't lost when Milton and Christian are both healthy. Christian Gonzalez. When Milton Williams and Christian Gonzalez are both on the field, they haven't lost yet. So knock on wood, we'll see what happens. Obviously, this is the best offense they played in a while. But one thing to keep an eye on is the health of Spillane, too. He's been a big factor in the run game. He's been a big, just great leader on this team in general and great player on the field. We'll see how healthy that ankle is. I know Harold Landry said that he expects to be out there. He has not looked anywhere near himself all year since that Saints game. I'm guessing he's probably not going to be the same version of himself. But if this defense can be as healthy as possible, if Spillane can be 90% of himself, you feel good about the defense's chances to at least slow down the offense. And at that point, you just got to have your offense do its part and go from there. So I like the defense. I think they've shown a lot of improvement throughout the year, especially late. I think Zach Kerr's done a tremendous job mixing things up, and they're doing a good job executing.
I wanted to talk about, obviously, the Drake May shoulder injury. It seems like it's kind of on the downward spiral. It's not as big of a deal. A lot of people were upset and freaking out when he missed practice on Friday, I believe, but it was because more of an illness. Mike Vrabel said he would have played. So how concerned are you guys? Because it's obviously going to hurt him. Like he's going to get shot up. He's going to play in the game, right? But like, how concerned are you that it's going to affect him? Carlos, you can go first. Like, have you heard anything? Have you seen anything? Like, he's going to practice all this week. He's going to get a full week of practice and all that stuff. So are you worried about it? Do you think that it's going to affect him at all in the game?
Honestly, there was never really a big concern. And I think what really, really made me feel better was today when Ian Rappaport came out and said, like, it's literally like nothing, like it's not going to affect him. I'm not saying that as soon as he said that, all my worry went away, but it went down to like 5%. You know what I mean? Like, kind of like you mentioned, like he's going to take shots. Like I guarantee they're going to try to tackle him, and you never know. I don't want to,
give a little
dirty, but
to the shoulder.
Yeah, exactly. Like you never know what they're going to do or what can happen in the game, but I don't think I think it's a nothing burger at this point. And I think that he's going to have a full week of practice. He sounds very confident. Mike Vrabel sounds pretty confident. Travion Henderson, I think today spoke to the media and said like he looks normal, like nothing seems off. So I think the only thing we should worry about is this illness that continues to go around the Patriots locker room. Honestly, like Thayer Munford, whatever it is, cannot get over it. He's been ill for like the past like 2-3 weeks. So hopefully nothing goes around, to the other players.
Yeah. I was concerned about it at first. It's gone down now. I was still a little concerned. Like last night when he said he felt like he started to turn a corner, the flight
He said
Sunday.
when they were landing in, yeah.
Yeah. So that was kind of like, okay, so it was noticeable enough where obviously he was limited at practice. So obviously it was a thing, but it was just like, I felt like I finally started to get better just as we landed yesterday was when he at the time he said it was yesterday. So that was kind of like, so if the game was this weekend, he would have played, but like been limited. It's just, especially the way the offense has looked, you need Drake May to use his legs. That was not the only reason, but that was a big reason why the Patriots beat the Broncos was Drake May made a bunch of plays with his legs. You need that when the offense is struggling. You need his mobility, some out of structure plays, and you need to be able to attack with the deep ball and have him be at full strength. He's looked shaky a little bit. He's missed some throws you don't usually see him miss, whether that's weather, whether that was the shoulder. He hasn't been as accurate and elite as you've expected him to be during this playoff run. So now's his opportunity. Good weather. Hopefully the shoulder's going to be healthy. But that was just my concern. If Drake May's not at 100%, if he takes a hit in the game when he's already hurting, and then he's limited the rest of the game, doesn't run as much, they don't use him the way they feel like he can. He's an elite weapon in the red zone. He's part of what's made our red zone offense a little bit better is using his legs. So I want them to be confident that he can use those. There's one more game to go. You gotta stay healthy and get there and be able to use his full arsenal of weapons because he's the MVP candidate for a reason. So I want to see him be as healthy as possible.
Yeah, and if there's one thing I've noticed too, kind of, I guess you could say it's a little bit of a worry because of the shoulder. I think he pointed it out. I don't know if it was towards the end of the regular season or the beginning of the playoffs that he prefers to dive head first because it kind of like protects him a little bit more. and he gets like more yards rather than sliding and having the ball back. But ever since the shoulder thing that people keep bringing up, if you've noticed, he's been sliding feet first now. And maybe I'm reading too much into it because he doesn't want to like land on that shoulder when he's diving. But it's one of those things to keep in mind, just because like he uses his legs so much that it might worry him to run because of that shoulder, the way he's going to hit the ground. That's just something to keep an eye out for.
Was his concussion last year not from sliding feet first, right?
It was.
Yeah,
it was.
See, and
It's
that's
insane.
Yeah.
Crazy how much he struggles with sliding. I mean, every time he slides, I'm holding my breath because it's like he slides feet first and then his head hits the turf this way. He slides head first. He rolls up weird. Like, you got to figure it out, dude. It's not that hard. You can throw a pinpoint dot on the run 60 yards down the field to Diggs on the sideline, but you can't slide. Like,
it's hard,
go down to spring training with the Red Sox and figure it out this offseason, because it's
not with them.
Insane.
They don't get on base enough. So, but no, I agree. The shoulder injury, in my opinion, he's going to have a lot of time to recover after this game, win or lose, and so everything's going to be out there now. How much does it hinder him? My worry is that, like you hit on earlier, Carlos, is that the run game isn't at least producing or isn't effective, and that it's all on Drake May. And not that I don't think Drake May can handle it. I really believe that Drake May is going to have a 280 plus yard passing game this week. He's going to have multiple touchdowns, and he's going to do a lot with his legs. But it will worry me as a second-year quarterback, potentially the youngest quarterback to win the Super Bowl, the youngest one to be there since Dan Marino, if he has to throw the ball 40 times a game. Like, if he can throw it 25 to 30, maybe 35 times, then I feel good. But you have to get the run game going so it's not on his shoulder, it doesn't flare up, things like that. And so I'm not super concerned about it. I do think that it's the same thing for Seattle, though. Like, if you have Sam Darnold and he takes one weird hit with his abdomen, he could have it flaring up. And so it's kind of goes both ways. I'm not, like I said, super concerned. I don't think that's going to be this huge thing going in there, but it is definitely something to monitor. If, like you said, Cole, you start seeing some of the accuracy concerns, because the weather's going to be good. It's going to be fine. Like, there's going to be plenty of opportunities for him to make these throws that he's been making and continue to have the MVP type season. So other than Spillane, though, is there any other injuries? I know there was kind of a bigger injury report than normal. Thayer Mumford, you mentioned, but are there any other ones that you guys are concerned about going into this week and going into the game?
No, not that I've noticed. It's literally just Spillane and Landry that are like the two main ones, I guess you could call it. I mean, Spillane more so, just because he's the captain of the defense. But yeah, it's crazy. It's honestly, and knock on wood, I know the EMF fields are at Levi's. I don't want anything to happen, but
easy, Carlos.
it's crazy how healthy they've been. Like, they're at full strength. So hopefully.
I don't think the Seahawks are missing anybody big either.
No, I don't
not
think
really.
It doesn't seem like it. It seems like both teams are surprisingly healthy for being at this point in the year.
That's the luck aspect.
Yeah, I mean, that's part of it,
being
though.
a Super Bowl team,
yeah, absolutely. That's part of it. Like, if the Niners didn't have 700 injuries, maybe they're in the Super Bowl right now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, the Seahawks.
If the Broncos didn't hurt Bo Nix, maybe they could be the ones getting blown out 35-7.
Yeah, maybe don't run your quarterback on a boot on the second to last play of the game. Maybe just take a knee or run it up the middle. Think about
It was
that.
inevitable, according to Sean Payton.
Yeah, so
that's crazy. I don't like. There's not many coaches I don't like. Sean Payton pisses me off.
He's a little different.
Him and Sean McDermott were like two that I was like. So I was happy to beat him.
That's true. I guess Charbonnet is the main injury, which we already talked about. But Charbonnet. I mean, if you want to compare it, like Antonio Gibson has been out for most of the year and stuff with his ACL injury. Now, I don't think that's a huge one but you're both missing a running back. Charbonnet is more important than Gibson, just because New England.
I don't know. Gibson can house it on the kickoff. You never know.
Good. I forgot to mention this earlier, and I'll just go back on it. You talked about it. If Travion Henderson's not going to be used in the run game, can he please be used in the return game instead of like 4, 8, 9, 40-yard dash Efton Chisholm, who I love. I love Efton Chisholm, but can we get Travion Henderson with his speed back there, at least give him potentially 2 or 3 touches right there? Let him just hit it from 20 yards deep. So who knows? That would be something that I would want.
These are games you want to use those bullets. Like Edelman, you got him. If he's the best returner you're playing him in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't matter. Especially if Henderson, like you said, doesn't have another role right now. 4 snaps a game. Like, let him try to make an impact somewhere. Maybe they don't feel confident that he's seeing the field well enough to have success, which is possible. He's not seeing the field well. But I do think it would be nice if he could find some way to contribute.
Let's end the season
honestly,
like we started it with a kick return, Travion Henderson.
That is trying to think about that.
I was so
going to say,
fired up.
like, if Gibson was healthy, I think they would have been playing him at returner more. I think that they just feel like it's so thin at running back. Like they have they've been elevating Dearness Johnson from the practice squad. They're not. It doesn't seem like they're going to activate Terrell Jennings because there's no one they want to put on IR or cut. So they don't have much behind Ramondre essentially. So I really hope they do that. Like you said, it's the last game of the season. Why not? But I could see them playing it a little bit safer.
Yeah, I could too. So let's I wanted to ask you guys each one thing before we kind of get into talking about the spread and kind of game picks and things like that. Who's one X factor on the Patriots that you believe has to have a great game for New England to even have a chance to pull off this Super Bowl victory? And I'll start with you, Carlos.
You said on the Patriots?
Yeah, on the Patriots. Someone that has to have a great game. Like, it can't just be, oh, he had a good game. Like, they need to have a great game.
I obviously I feel like the easy answer is Drake, but I'll go with that's a good question. I'm gonna go with Christian Barmore, to be honest. I think that Milton Williams is gonna get a lot of the attention, and Barmore's been able to handle his own. And kind of like last week or last game, he went up against an all-pro guard, and he was able to completely manhandle him. So if Barmore could produce for 10 to 15 snaps and play like at an elite level and disrupt 10 to 15 offensive plays while the other guys are getting double teamed or, just blocked well, I think that's going to be like a big, kind of like you mentioned earlier, like he's going to be the one getting that pressure on Sam Darnold. He's going to throw things off.
Mine would be Christian Gonzalez. I just think if there's any chance that he can shut down JSN, I think that makes the Seahawks play with one hand tied behind their back. I just think JSN's been so elite this year. He's such a big part of their offense. If Christian Gonzalez is lights out, I think that raises your chances tremendously of not only winning this game, but of Christian Gonzalez getting a $40 million per year contract at the end of the year. I think this is a big game for him money-wise too. Like Jason and I were talking about this the other day. If he goes in and gets cooked by JSN all game, compared to if he goes in and locks him down in the Super Bowl, that's a big difference in money this offseason that he's going to get, I think. So Gonzo, that would be huge. Obviously, like you said, Drake is the obvious one, but Christian Gonzalez would be huge if he could shut down JSN.
Yeah, and I'm preparing myself to. I don't want to say be disappointed because I don't think Gonzalez is going to get burnt, but JSN's
I think he's going to give a couple
his.
big plays probably. Yeah, JSN's such an elite route runner. He's gonna have some plays, but you know what I mean. If you can have him hold him to 3 catches for 40 yards, or what I mean, something like that. That would be shutting him down in my estimation.
I agree. If you hold him under 70, somewhere in that range, like I think that's a huge win. Like for the Patriots. So, Carlos, I loved your answer. I was going to say Milton Williams just because last year he was so disruptive for the Eagles in the Super Bowl. 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, 1 fumble recovery, 4 tackles. That really is what he was going to get a huge payday. But like you said with Christian Gonzalez, that gave Milton Williams an opportunity to get the bag like he did from New England this offseason. So I'm really looking at both him and Christian Barmore. The other one I wanted to mention, I think it's Stephon Diggs time. We haven't heard about him like massively in the last couple games. He's going to be the safety blanket for Drake May. I know that they have really good corners. Nicky Mawari is going to be tough to beat, but I think that this is Stephon Diggs time. He finally got to a Super Bowl. This is what he's been waiting for, and he's the vet in this room in all of the obviously you have Matt Collins who's been to the Super Bowl and stuff, but you got Diggs with all the talent in the world that's been waiting to get here. I'm really excited to see him play in this game, and I think he's going to be up for it. I think he's going to be ready, and he's going to make some of those big-time plays just because of who he is. Like you saw that tough catch against Houston, right? Like that's what a veteran does. Like he's played in cold weather games. He has great hands. That's what he's going to do. He's going to make those tough plays. So I think Stephon Diggs has to have a great game for the passing offense, which will obviously help Drake May, like you guys kind of already hit on.
He's got some of the best hands in football. Like some of the plays recently that we've seen him make this year, like where he's just holding on to the ball like this and then just gets hit or somebody tries to punch at it or whatever. contact that most receivers would drop the ball, and he just the strength to just hold on to that football has been impressive. He's made some big plays. We need Bills versus the Bills, Stephon Diggs, where he's over 100 yards, just always creating. Drake making some big plays. That would be ideal.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was gonna say. He needs to just dig deep and play just like the dude was like growling on the field. Like I hope he has that same mindset for the Super Bowl. Maybe I hope the Bills game wasn't his Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like I think he has more in him.
I mean, the dude headbutted Chason without a helmet. Diggs didn't have a helmet on. Chason did before the game. I'm like, awesome. He's gonna have a concussion. He's out for the game. Like, we got to relax a little bit there. But yeah, Chason's another guy that could be a big key to the game. If he just is dominating on the edge there, that would be huge.
Yeah, totally agree. Let's get into our picks for this week. Patriots are that should be 4.5. I don't know why that didn't change. I know I exported that. The Patriots are 4.5 point underdogs for Super Bowl 60 against the Seattle Seahawks right now. I want you guys to give me your score prediction and your Super Bowl MVP right now. So I'll start with you, Cole. We've started with Carlos most of the time. So Cole, give me your score prediction for this Super Bowl MVP.
I don't want to do this. I think the Pats cover the 4.5. I think Seahawks probably win by 3. I got Seahawks like 23-20.
Boo this man. Boo.
I think there's every chance the Pats could win this football game. They got to play well. We'll see what happens, but I think Seahawks are favorites for a reason. If your offense looks anywhere like it has the past month, I think it's going to be tough sledding. I don't think it's going to be a super high scoring game. MVP, I mean, probably JSN, or maybe Shaheed makes a couple big plays, one in the return game, one something like that. Kenneth Walker's another one to watch out for, but I guess that would probably be fine.
Okay, Carlos.
Now let's get to the positive ones.
Honestly, I do agree. I think it's going to be a low scoring game. I'm struggling to do the math and think about how many field goals each team would score. Maybe it's a score-a-gami situation. I don't know. But I think this is actually tougher than I thought. If I had to predict it, I would say 19-14 Patriots. I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be a defensive battle. And I think the Patriots are going to have to settle for a lot of field goals because the Seahawks defense is too good. And I trust Andy Borregales in nice weather. So I'll go 19-14. That's what I said, 14.
Yeah, 19-14. That's one thing that concerns me a little bit is we haven't seen Andy tested a ton in the playoffs. Like, I don't think he's had a field goal attempt in the playoffs or a field goal make in the playoffs that's over like 40, 43 yards. Like, he hasn't had to have a 55-yarder or anything like that. Like, he missed one that was like 60 yards one of the games, and then he missed one in the snowy weather that was like 45 yards, which not the end of the world, but good weather. Hopefully Andy is nails like he was in that Bills game where he won it for us at the end with a field goal. So that would be awesome.
Are you going with Drake May Super Bowl MVP then, Carlos?
Yeah.
Sounds like Andy Borregales Super Bowl MVP.
Could be.
Imagine they give it to a kicker. No, I think it would be Drake May in that instance. Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with 27-23 New England. I do think it's going to be a defensive battle, but these are two good offenses. Like, you got to remember, the Patriots were the third best offense in the NFL through scoring wise, or maybe was it second? It was somewhere in there. Like, they were top 5 in Seattle. 5. Seattle has the opportunity to put up points too, and I do think these are two great defenses. Like, it's going to come down to who doesn't make who wins the turnover battle, obviously, and then who can get pressure on the other quarterback. And so there's going to be your fair share, but I do think there's going to be points. I don't think it's going to be 10-7 like we saw with Denver. I think it could be a little more similar to kind of what we saw with the Houston Texans game, where yes, it's defensive dominant, but you still get a good amount of points up there. So I'm going to go Patriots 27, Seahawks 23, my Super Bowl MVP. Obviously, Drake May's kind of the obvious one, especially if they're winning 27-23 and he has, 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. But my dark horse MVP would be Ramondre Stevenson. If they get the run game going and he has 2 or 3 touchdowns, if he has 2 touchdowns, then I think that he's, the Super Bowl MVP. If he goes for 90 yards and 2 touchdowns and, depending on what Drake May does. So that'd be my dark horse. But I do believe, I believe the Patriots have what it takes to pull this off. I think they have the grittiness. I think the story's all there. They've been doubted all along. This is their time to rise up, and this would probably be one of the best Super Bowl victories the Patriots have had in the last obviously the first one was awesome when they won it and they beat the Rams, but still just how much they've been doubted, how they were 4-13 last year. Drake May getting the rise to be, potential MVP, Mike Vrabel becoming the head coach. I think it's going to be one of the sweeter ones if Patriots were to win it. And I think Robert Kraft would like it after he got snubbed from the Hall of Fame also.
Oh my God. Don't get me started on this. We'll be here all night. But I'm hoping the offensive struggles and Drake May's struggles have been related to either the shoulder or the weather. You don't want Drake May to struggle in the weather, but it seems like that's been a factor throughout his career so far. It seems like when it's raining, when it's snowing, he isn't able to play as well. I know people have talked about his hand size being a little small for a quarterback, especially of his size, 6'4", 6'5". Just something to keep an eye on. So if the weather's great, like it should be in San Francisco, hopefully Drake May's out there slinging it and our offense is firing on all cylinders again.
I totally agree. We'll pull this graphic up one more time because we're 5 days away from Super Bowl 60, New England, Seattle. It's going to be fun. It's kind of fun that it's a little rematch too. Obviously that was a great Super Bowl. You'll never recreate Super Bowl 49 unless, Seattle's on the 1 yard line and they run the ball and they fumble. And then it's finally,
oh my God,
poetic justice.
What an awesome thing that would be.
But no, this is
going to be
Kenneth
Walker. Oh, he fumbles.
Or they just get stuffed 4 straight times, and then someone's going to ask, well, yeah, JSN, why didn't you just throw it to him? And yeah, exactly. It'll be total opposite. So
funny. That would be awesome.
But, yeah.
I don't care if we win 3-0, 2-0, 3-2, any means necessary. Go win this thing. Can't wait.
Get that 7th Lombardi. So awesome. Well, we appreciate it. Carlos, you got anything? We always appreciate you hopping on. Whoa.
Didn't mean to do that.
On there?
Oh, I take that off.
I got you.
No, honestly, no, nothing much. Obviously, if you guys aren't following me on X, go ahead and follow me there. Hopefully, I'll be live tweeting from the game. But I'm going to the Super Bowl fan experience tomorrow. So if you plan on going there, come say hi. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, go Pats. Hopefully this is the start of something new with this new dynasty, maybe.
Hopefully we're looking back on this episode in 10 years with Drake May's 10 Super Bowl rings and feeling like this is where it all started.
This is where it all started. So, no, we appreciate it, guys. Like Carlos said, follow him on X or Twitter. Follow us right here. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Comment down below your score predictions, Super Bowl MVP, all that stuff. Hopefully this time next week, we're live streaming again. A Super Bowl victory. We get to celebrate. Come on here. Maybe if the Patriots win, well, not maybe. If the Patriots win, I for sure will give away a Super Bowl championship shirt from Fanatics or whatever. That will just be a given. So if that happens,
a lot of heat on Fanatics right now. You might want to pick something else.
They can make those shirts. That's fine.
Maybe they can get another pizza eating cam, just like draft night.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Jason Carlos are flying up to Maine. That's what I heard.
Okay. All right. There you go. So if you're paying for the tickets.
All right. Well, let's see how it goes.
No, the other thing I want to say before we end it, obviously, getting another Super Bowl would be great, but we would be the first team and now the only team in the NFL with 7 world championships. We would not have to split with Pittsburgh. We would be on our own, the New England Patriots, the most Super Bowls of any franchise, which would be awesome to get to. So that's another thing they're playing for.
Another banner.
Yep, it is. So, well, we appreciate it, guys. Go Pats. Have a fun Super Bowl Sunday. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. I know I'll just be nestled up on my couch, all nervous. Carlos might be at the game, all nervous, maybe excited. Cole, I don't know if you go to Super Bowl parties or not, but I can't watch it with people because they're too distracting. And when is Bad Bunny coming on for the halftime show? Blah blah.
Who cares?
I don't care about that stuff. Yeah, sit down and watch Drake May. So
my wife and I are making a feast at home, just the two of us, and that's perfect.
My wife might be going up to her in-laws or to my in-laws, her parents' house without me because I'm like, I can't do it. Like, you can go up there. Trust me, you probably don't want to be around me. I'll probably be a little bit crazy. So if you want to, go ahead. But yeah, so
you're going to be getting text from me that you're going to be like, geez, calm down,
always.
Cole.
It'll be first quarter. Cole will text me, "We suck. We're the worst team in the NFL." So.
How do we even get here?
Yeah, so awesome. Well, we'll let you go, Carlos. He's running out of daylight over there, and so we'll be back on hopefully next week, talk about a Patriots 7th Super Bowl banner. So we appreciate it, and until next time, we will talk to you guys later.
Thanks for listening to this edition of the Patriots Drive podcast. Follow us on social media to stay up to date with all things New England Patriots. Make sure you tune in to the next episode and check out patriotsdrive.com for more great content.
We're on to Cincinnati.